Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Christian Indie Writers Podcast, where we inform, encourage, and support Christian indie writers on their journey toward publication. I'm Christina Catane, and I write in multiple genres, including Christian dystopian fiction.
I'm Jennifer Carl Tong, and I write historical Christian romance.
I'm Jamie Hirschberger. I write short fiction under the pen name J.R. Nichols.
I'm Rhonda Hagerman, and I write fiction and nonfiction with my mother, the other half of Dee Dee Bowman.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and especially those who come to us from iTunes and the other platforms where we have audio available. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you won't miss an episode. If you're on Facebook, leave us a comment so we know you're there. Hit like, and you can join our newsletter at christianindywriters.net to never miss an episode. So we start our podcast every week with a What's Up segment where we go around the circle and everybody says what's up. So let's start with Rhonda.
Let's see, what's up with me? I am just, so I haven't done any Christmas shopping yet. So my writing has gotten very, on the back burner. I'm trying to do at least one sprint every day just to keep my fingers in it. But my what's up right now is just getting ready for Christmas and getting ready to be a snowbird for the first part of 2021. And I'm very excited about all of it.
Explain to people that are not from Michigan or Florida what a snowbird is, Rhonda.
Yes, we are people who flee when we see the white stuff coming down from the air. We flee to warmer climates.
Mostly Florida or Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Would you say? Yeah.
I must confess, I was accused of being a snowbird when I was in Michigan recently, and I just claimed it. I was like, yeah, finally. Because I was like, oh, I'm visiting from Florida, or I said whatever I said. So then they said, oh, you're a snowbird? I'm not. Because, see, I permanently live here. A snowbird, migrates just like a bird. That's why they say that. Because, it's, only for part of the year.
Right.
So why don't you go ahead and give us your what's up then, Jamie?
All right. Well, my what's up is sort of a show and telly kind of a thing. I just thought it was interesting, so I thought I would bring it to everybody here in the podcast. Okay, growing up, I was taught a centipede has 100 legs. It's right in the name. Centa, 100, pede, feet, 100-legged animal. Did you know that no centipede ever has 100 legs? Every centipede is born with an odd number of segments, meaning they will always have never 100 legs. It's an impossibility for a centipede to have 100 legs. I just thought I would bring that to you this morning.
My childhood is ruined.
I know.
Wow.
What's
Next
up with you, Jen? Yes.
Let's hit the chat first. Good morning, everybody. You can see all your morning good mornings to us and afternoons. Maria says afternoon. Love the tree, Tina, and the Christmas jumper, Jen. Thank you. Appreciate that. Jason says finishing up my third week of a new job. Some things are settling down, so now I can focus back on my writing again. Here's Moon Bunny. Hey, Moon Bunny, what's up? I am deep in the seasonal depression. And my void kitty passed away yesterday. So I'm just here to wish you all lovelies a happy early Christmas. Thank you for another great year. We appreciate you so much, Sage. Seasonal depression is a real thing. It is. You're not the only one. You're not alone. Just know
that's why I'm going to Florida.
Well, I'll go next because I'm the host, so I don't want to go last. So I just thought I'd give you guys some Alaska trivia and a little bit of perspective on the cold and the gray and the dark. So today in Michigan, where I live, the sun rose at 8 o'clock in the morning-ish. It was a minute after 8. And it's going to set at 5. So that's about 9 hours of daylight. In Anchorage, Alaska today, the sun will rise at 10:15 a.m. And it will go down at 3:40 in the afternoon.
Wow, that's weird.
So the 21st is the shortest day of the year, and so you only lose a few seconds a day. So we're pretty close to what it's going to be on the shortest day of the year. But if you travel 720 miles north of Anchorage, which is about the same distance as between where I live here in Michigan and Atlanta, Georgia. The last time they saw sunrise was on November 18th
Ugh.
at 12:55 in the afternoon.
Wow.
And it set at 1:25 in the afternoon. So they had a half an hour of daylight, and the sun will not rise again until January 23rd at 12:55 in the afternoon, and it will set at 1:25 in the afternoon, a half an hour.
Ugh.
So
Wow.
we should count our blessings.
And this is like a populated land.
Well, there's a village there. Utqiagvik is what the Inupiat people call it. Us white men, we call it Barrow. So
Wow. Interesting, Tina.
Very interesting.
So that's my what's up. Go ahead, Jen.
Okay.
What's your what's up?
So, oh no. My girls, I'm doing a Charles Dickens unit with them, as well as an Advent unit. And I'm kind of morphing them together. And so their big cumulative project was to throw a good old fashioned Victorian Christmas dinner party just for us, just for our family. And they're getting all into it. So we're going to be having we vetoed plum and figgy pudding because we did the research and how much work was into it, and I was all down for it, and they all three saw raisins in the ingredients. They're like, no. So I'm like, they're like, go ahead and make it. I'm like, if you're not eating it, I'm not putting all that work in, because if you guys have ever looked at how to make it, it is not easy. But I was all for it. I was down for it. So, but we're going to have salmon, and we're going to kind of be easy, and we're going to get roasted chicken from the grocery store, because we read that many of the families would have their turkeys roasted by the baker because they didn't have the proper oven to do it in. So we're going to have our baker, Kroger, do our do roast chicken, and we have like kind of all these courses, and we're getting all into it. So it's been really fun to be able to plan out a different kind of Christmas tradition. So we'll see how that goes. So that's what I've been up to. That and Christmas card making with them. I'm not a Christmas card maker, just not my thing. It's like you're just gonna throw it away. And if you give me a card, don't hand make it and think I'm gonna keep it forever, because I'm not. That's just not who I am. And so, but we've been doing that because that's what the Victorians did, and that was been kind of fun. And I know what I forgot. We went Christmas caroling. Like we made like treats and stuff for our neighbors in our new little neighborhood here, and we went around knocking on doors and sang Christmas carols, and it was so much fun. Like I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if I should do this. It was great. We had a lot of fun. So
it sounds fun.
Maria says, also had a dilemma this week. Jamie noticed about whether to keep a character killed off. So tempted to rewrite, but they stayed dead, as I think it's better for the story. It was a tough one. Piper says, Tina, that is crazy. I'd rather be in Florida with Jamie. I think we all would rather be in Florida with Jamie.
Too hot.
Piper said, oh yeah, everyone but Tina. Yeah. Piper says, yeah, we've been talking about the whole figgy pudding and the carol that demands it before the carol.
What a ransom request, you know?
So true. All right.
Jason has one.
Sorry, had coffee. Edited a character out of my book altogether this morning.
Wow.
Feels so weird taking the character out of the book, but he didn't add anything to the story.
Wise. There's wisdom there. Good for
Yep.
you.
Yeah, it'll
Those are
make it
hard
better
choices
in the
to
long
make,
run.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's get right into our topic then. This is our holiday episode for December 2020, and we are going to be talking about goals for the next year, and how are we making them, and what kind of goals are we trying to make, and all that kind of fun stuff. So we were going to go around, and each of us was going to talk about what our goals are and how we plan to work on them for the next year. So who wants to start?
I'll go first, because I would like to say that next time we are all together, we are taking 2 weeks off for the holidays. But the time that we podcast after that, we're going to be having an episode kind of focusing on, is your writing career a career or a hobby? And the reason I volunteered to speak first is because I'm sort of at that place right now, because I have sort of retired. Like, I'm still a mom. I'm still homeschooling my kids, but I've retired from a couple of really big mom jobs I used to do. I was on boards for organizations, and it takes up a whole lot of your time. So my decision now is, do I pursue a career, or is writing my career? And writing is either going to be my hobby or my career, and I just don't know. And so for me, my goal, my first goal, is going to be making that determination. And we're going to be going through all of that when we all get back together next year. So I'm sure a lot of people have the same thing. So tune into that episode. But that's where I'm at. And I do know that I am finishing this book. So as far as what specific goals I have on the table, I have a commitment to myself to finish this book, meaning publish it. I don't have any commitment to myself to promote or advertise the book, but my family seems to think that that should be the way we go, whatever. And of course, the success of the book is going to play into whether or not this becomes a hobby or career for me. So that's where I'm at about all of it. And I'll toss to whoever wants to be next.
I'll go next. So for me, like, I always have goals, and I always have like kind of an outline of what direction I'm going in. But in the last year and a half, since my life was turned upside down when someone very, very close to me was diagnosed with cancer, and then I subsequently lost her, and then had to deal with the aftermath of all of that.
So fast. That was so fast,
It was
Jen.
so fast, and then everything else seemed to move in slow motion, right? Like when you like to go through her estate, and if you even knew the condition of, like, I want to say like her house was a mess, but like she was elderly, so never went down to the basement, and there had been floods that she didn't know about. And then, or she seldom went down to the basement. And then the fact that she just had all the family heirlooms. Like, little backstory, my dad is the youngest of 10 children, 5 boys, 5 girls. But a couple years before I was born, my grandmother and 4 of the sisters were all killed in one car accident. So my aunt was the remaining daughter. So she had all the family heirlooms, right? And so just that whole process has like really kind of turned me upside down. And so I feel like I'm just now getting my head above water. Starting a new novel during Nano was ideal for me. Like I needed something fresh. So that's helped give me a new perspective. So for me, I'm going to have very similar goals as I've had other years, but what I want to talk about right now is like doing those goals. Like what are things I'm going to put into place to help me make sure that I do that. Now we do a thing, we've always called it office hours, and it's basically we set time in our day that we show up, and this is when we work on our career. We don't just try to fit it in with everything else. These are our office hours. Our family knows that these are our office hours. This is when we work. We generally do them together, but because now that I'm homeschooling, I had to move my office hours to a different time. So what has worked for me during Nano was when I was doing the live sprints. It was kind of scary at first because who wants to show up with me while I'm writing? And then you're quiet all that time. Like, who cares? But it worked. And there was a few other writers that benefited from them too, and I benefited. So that's the thing that I'm going to implement new in the new year is I'm going to have at least twice a week that I'm going to show up in the morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time, and I'm going to do a live sprint. Whether anyone shows up or not, it's going to be an added layer of accountability for me and to help me get back on track where I was before I lost my aunt, to back to the writer that I was and the production level that I was at before. So for me, my goal is to get back to who I was. And one of the ways I'm going to do it, the main way, is to be doing some live sprints.
Awesome.
That's what I'm
thinking. I have to definitely come up with a plan. And I know that my writing has to take a priority. And I think that I need to spend more time writing than what I have in the past. So either I need to expand my office hours, or I need to do them set like 6 days a week or something like that. I don't know. I'm still thinking on all of it. But I also need to start thinking about marketing and that kind of stuff, because now I have a book out there that needs to be advertised and marketed. And I really don't know much about marketing. So there's a learning that's going to need to be involved, and trial and error. And I need to schedule that time into my day. Because I have a tendency to get a one-track mind kind of sometimes. And if I start doing it, I'll look up and like 4 hours will have gone by. And then the other things I needed to get done aren't getting done. So
Same.
I really need to sit down, figure out, first of all, I got to get my sleep schedule right because it's all messed up right now. And just figure out, like, how do I fit my Bible time and my devotion time and my writing time, marketing time. Then I got my online paying job. I have to cook dinner, clean the house, those kind of things. So yeah, I just have a lot of planning to do. And I did pick up a book by Joanna Penn this week, basically on making a business plan.
Awesome.
So I'm reading that to try to get some ideas. And she also has one on marketing that I bought. They were like $5 or something on Kindle. So I'm kind of just trying to get,
Her stuff is really good too.
Yeah, I really love her podcast and a lot of her philosophies. So I'm just kind of in the brainstorming stage, I guess, with the plan to have a permanent goal by the new year so that I can start off right in the new year.
That sounds good. Hey, I want to look at the chat for just a quick second because we're kind of talking about marketing anyway. Maria is talking about how she's having trouble getting her comments to show up here. So I just want to talk about this really quick. If you put any sort of reference to a .com, even if you spell out DOT space com, or you have any sort of reference with sign up for my newsletter, YouTube will tag it for review. Problem is we don't see the review until this has been processed hours later.
If we see it, like you can't count on us seeing it because we're not looking at the chat after. Nope.
We have so many other things that we're busy doing. So we commit this time to it. So here's our suggestion. Don't mention your newsletter in the chat. That way you won't get kicked out by YouTube. If you would like to ask people in the chat to sign up for your newsletter, send them, just say, find me on Twitter, find me on Instagram, find you somewhere else. And then that's how we can share each other's, like be on each other's newsletter. But let's like, if you want to make sure that your comments are showing up, you can't even try to like, I don't want to say scam the system, but like I was able to see Maria's comment from last week later, like days later, and you had put DOT, like spelled out dot space and com. Anyway, YouTube won't accept any of that and they'll put it for review. And then sometimes we don't even get it. So that's what the problem is. So, and you don't want to be like kicked out. Like Piper says that she was kicked out for a while and couldn't get back onto YouTube, like commenting. That'd be the worst because we don't want to lose you. We love having you guys in our chat. So, okay. Piper says, keeping office hours has been helpful to me. I've begun block scheduling. Good. And it's been helpful to block the writing in for the morning and other stuff afternoon. That's afterwards. That's really great. And like Tina, I need to be better about it because I'm not great at marketing or any of that stuff either. But it's my first go-to. I get up in the morning and I'll just check my email really quick. Oh, and then I end up doing this and I go over to book funnel and then I do this and that. And all of a sudden, like I've lost my writing time. I need to really be strong and only write at the beginning of the day and worry about the rest of that stuff later. That's my problem.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Jason has a goal for next year.
Oh, good. Jason says my goal for next year is to finish my first book, edit it, and at least start working on getting it published. I right now am working through my second draft. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, Jason.
Yeah, for sure.
It feels good when you get those drafts done.
Yeah, if you finish the first draft, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So Rhonda, what about you?
Well, first I want to remind Jennifer, she didn't talk about having to change her name. That was a big thing.
Oh, I didn't change. That's just my real name. You didn't notice that?
I did not know that was your real name.
I forgot I did it, and I can't believe no one noticed.
I did not notice until Rhonda just said something. Nice, Jen. And I wonder how many people saw our graphic today.
Oh, the graphic was the greatest.
In my defense, I have the screen small that you guys are on because I need to read the outline. So I can't even see it.
Well, in case you missed our graphic today.
Oh, good.
I love the red nose, Jen.
Yeah.
I mean, Jennifer.
Okay.
You guys are officially my family now, as I'm like calling you by each other's names.
It started off with an elf hat on Tina. I'll be honest. That's where it started. And then I started decorating me and Jamie. And then I couldn't find anything appropriate for Rhonda. And Jamie's like, too bad you couldn't find a Grinch picture. So I want to point out that it was Jamie's idea, even though I am absolutely in love with what. This is probably my favorite graphic I've ever done in the history of doing graphics.
I'm so happy for you.
Well, and I told Jennifer we started it by putting her head on a stick when she was absent. So I guess one good turn deserves another.
Yeah, because Jamie tried saying, just so you know, Jen, if there's going to be any retaliation, I'm going to have to help with that one too. I'm like, wait a minute, retaliation. You act like you're outside of this. This was your idea. Like, if there's retaliation, it should be on you, not on me. Just because I had the skill set doesn't mean it was my idea. Oh, Merry Christmas. Just so you know, there was something else I was going to do to you instead that would have been not, yeah. So it was a much better option.
Intriguing.
I'm not even going to ask.
Nice.
Good idea.
Okay, Rhonda.
Something I have found helpful is strength for writers. You can find on Facebook playing with your strengths instead of trying to push from areas that are not your strengths. That's a really good idea. I'll have to look that up.
Okay, well, I was trying to just kind of slide past mine, but obviously I'm not going to trick Tina today.
No, you can't trick me.
No, Tina is not trickable. Tina is like a teacher to the max.
Yeah, for real. Okay, so the last month I've really been looking forward to 2021 and how I can just make everything click for me. And like Piper, I've been doing the block scheduling. That just works so much better for my brain. I like doing sprints, and so I could do a block of time with sprints. But if I try to fit in other things that I'm working on in a sprint time, it just messes me up. I just don't get anything done really. So block scheduling is key for me. And
could you explain to everybody what block scheduling is in case somebody doesn't know?
Yes. Okay. So for instance, a sprint, we do generally 15 minutes, sometimes 25 minutes, whatever. And then we just do nothing but write in that time. So say you've got 4 hours that you can work in a day, and you've got 3 tasks that you want to get done. Say you want to do all your accounting or get some accounting done, get some writing done, and get, social media done. So for me, to do my social media, I need to work on that solid for, say, an hour and 15 minutes of that 4-hour block that I've got. I don't go back and forth. I don't, that whole block is all about social media. And so my mindset doesn't have to jump back and forth in between tasks.
So you're blocking off that part of your day for that task is what you're doing.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
And not necessarily the same every day, because I may do all my social media in one day. But social media is something I got to put some time and effort into this year. I was doing pretty well at it for a while, and then things just got off track. And so my goal for 2021 is to stay on track.
As all of ours should be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Piper was replying to a question about the group she mentioned. She said that Becca Syme teaches a course on it. It's based on the Clifton Strengths. So Strength Finders. I've taken Strength Finders. I know Tina's done the Strength Finders. So that's really interesting to me because I already know what my strengths are on Strength Finders. So I'm going to definitely look that up and see. Because if that'll help my writing, then all the more.
Bet you can't guess what my number one strength is.
Woo.
Teaching.
I was teasing.
I know.
Teaching, that would make sense. Guess what my number one is?
Organization. I don't know.
But it's one of them. Nope. Communication.
That makes sense.
Maria says, keeping office hours has been really helpful for me. I've really tried to step up my marketing. Not going to say more in detail about that, LOL. And I started a new website a couple months ago. Good. So office hours are something we have preached for a long time now. We fully believe in it. We do office hours together. You could do it yourself. But if you could find a partner, somebody who's willing to meet up with you on Google Meet or something, whatever, and you guys keep each other accountable. Even if you're just sitting there quietly working, it makes a difference, because when you don't show up and you get that text message, hey, are you coming to office hours? It helps.
Yes, and it helps you when you don't want to go for someone else to be going to show up. That's what it is like, that other person got out of bed. So then you feel like a heel if you don't get out of bed. Do you know what I mean? And then you're happy later that you did it. Because how many times are you like, oh, I'm so happy I go to the gym once I get out of bed and actually go. So here's your motivation. Your poor friend who actually did. Now here she is sitting there waiting for your butt, and you're still cozy under the blanket. So that's how y'all motivate me.
Story of my life the last few weeks.
If we could find a partner to meet us at the gym and then go to a coffee house afterwards and write, like, that would be the perfect relationship right there. Workout partner, and then let's go have coffee and get some words in. That's awesome.
That would be. I have a Starbucks gift card.
If you want to make $1 million, you can make sort of like a dating app for reading and writing buddies, and you could call it, I don't know, what is like a Tinder word that could be instead of, you can't call it like Kindler because obviously Kindle is already used, but you can like find a buddy. I'll be the person to go, to the gym with you and then go write at Tim Hortons. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, too bad that's so hard to find,
I've never been on Tinder.
I don't even know. I know what kids say, but
no. Does anyone use it just for that kind of stuff? Not for dates, but like looking for someone as a writing partner.
I dare you to try it. I dare you to put a profile. Just be like, looking for reader friends, and what would the kids say? Like your daughter would probably be like, "You're doing what?"
No, they're so used to me doing weird things. They'd just be like, "Whatever, mom." They're so used to it. My poor kids.
My kids are always rolling their eyes at me.
Mine too. I feel like it's part of my job as a parent. If I can't embarrass my child or make them really confused, then why am I here?
But you got to know when to stop. Like the last time we all got together and we were talking about spiders, and my son says, "Can we not talk about spiders? Because I have arachnophobia." And I go, "Oh, you don't want to talk about their 8 long hairy legs?" He got so mad he like left the table and went his room. I felt bad. I was just a joke.
Maria says, I agree with you, but the only downside is if you make it too pressured, it can be put accountability partners off. Happened to a friend who started feeling stressed or guilty when they couldn't make it. Agreed. So possibly it should be more than just 2 people. That way it's like a balance. Well, the 4 of us, it works great because there's 4 of us, and there's generally always one other person that is available generally. But then you don't feel that pressure, because I'll be honest, I'm the one that flakes out a lot because of headaches. Like I have to show up on Fridays. So like if on Thursday I'm not feeling really good and I have a headache, maybe Monday I might push through and I might show up for office hours. But Thursday, when I know the next day I really gotta be on my game, sometimes I don't push through. So it does help that there are other people, and I don't feel like, oh no, Tina won't have anyone to write with if I don't show up. Like I know that there are other people out there. So maybe it should be more than just one person. Well, it'd be great to have 4 people as workout partners and then go to coffee. I loved it when we used to always go meet at Tim Hortons or Starbucks or wherever. Panera. All right. Excuse me. Teresa says, I would love to do accountability writing with someone, but I've had the hardest time finding writing friends. That's why I love the November sprints you did, Jen. I loved them too. And I don't know if you saw at the beginning of the hour, I said I'm going to start them up again in January, not every day, but I'm going to start them up again in January. So again, there's a way of having accountability partners, but in a virtual way, right? In a very like 2020 COVID kind of a way, I guess you could say. Jason says, I've tried finding accountability partners, but haven't had much luck. Well, join me in the mornings when I do my writing sprints. You were there during November. Piper says, I use writing sprints, another Facebook page, and that is all it is. Writer sprinting. Yep. I also just joined a Patreon that has a Zoom chat room for sprinting. All right. Awesome. I never thought about doing a Facebook page. Is it like open all the time where people are just in there sprinting? That's interesting.
That is interesting. Oh,
see, if
sorry.
this was like my full-time job where we had like an actual office we were in, like we would just have an open sprint all the time, right? but my kids want to eat like 3 times a day, every day.
Why
So,
do they
like,
think they have to eat so often?
I don't know. Like, don't they see that I'm writing?
Yeah.
I don't even get it. So, but in the ideal world, I would have sprinting online all the time. But again, block scheduling, office hours, accountability, that's what works for me, and sticking to it.
Yeah. I've kind of graduated from the having to feed my kid 3 times a day thing, because I only have one child left at home, and he's 17, and he doesn't like anything I make anyway. So
Really?
because I'm trying to do the whole foods, mostly plant-based thing, and he's like, what? It came out of the ground? I ain't eating that. kind of attitude.
My kids love that I'm cooking healthier now for the past 3 years. They love the low carb, everything that I make. But I'm wondering how much of it is that they actually love the food as opposed to they really love that they don't have to do it themselves. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, Chris likes to make his own. So
Maria says, I really enjoyed meeting virtually with my nano region this year, sprinting and also chatting in online socials on Discord. Gonna miss it, as I don't think they'll do it until next November. I'm not sure. We have a really good local nano group, very active nano group, but I wasn't involved in any of their stuff, their online stuff. Were any of you ladies involved? Did you go to any of their online sprints? Me either.
No, but I wonder if they're going to do it again, because I know like in April there's a Camp Nano, and in July there's a Camp Nano. So it's possible those groups might be active online again during those campy things.
In reference to the Facebook group, Piper says, open all the time. Someone will do a post that says what time they're running the sprints. Say go, say stop, and anyone who participated comments. Okay. Shell says, I would love an accountability buddy or 2 next year. I would love Jen's, but I'm West Coast, so it's just too early for me. Oh, yeah.
I live about 30 miles from Jen, and it's too early for me.
She's West Flint. You're West Coast. She's West Flint.
Exactly.
Right.
That's awesome. Okay. Is there anything else that we need to say about planning for next year?
No, but I'm just looking forward to January 8th when we're going to be coming back for our first podcast. Everyone show up, because that's where we're going to really start to put meat on the bones of what we're talking about today. Starting with like Jamie pointed out, is this your hobby or is it your business? And then we'll have kind of 2 different threads of ways that you can go depending on what you choose.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Okay, so I think it's a good time to transition into the feeding of the backs. And so, in case you don't know, I think everybody's probably, everyone that's here in the chat has been here before, but we might have new listeners or new viewers. So I want to explain the feeding of the backs. We say, we give each other feedback. And then we used to say, well, is your back well fed, after we gave the feedback? So that's why we called this time the feeding of the backs. So I am going to pick on Rhonda again to go first, because I like to do that, to read your sprint. And the prompt was a Christmas surprise, a holiday surprise, sorry.
Okay. I have lots of ideas for this. So I will be finishing this.
Yay!
How
exciting.
Did you bring the reindeer snacks? Tina asked just before Jamie's foot landed inside the door. The gust that pushed Jamie through the door glittered with super frozen snowflakes. No, we assigned those to Rhonda, Jamie replied. She's probably right behind me. I don't know if that was a good idea. Jen began to wring her hands. She went back to fiddling with the appetizer tray, adding another sprig of mistletoe to the center. You know what a Grinch she is. She shook her head in dismay, mumbling jingle bells quietly to soothe herself. Jamie was still next to the door, unloading her arms, when the door burst open again, launching her into the mountain of winter jackets piled into the chair in front of her. Ho, 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 yelled the figure in the open door, pointing to each one of the women standing there. The person was covered in snow and holding a mountain of parcels and shopping bags, wearing a plush ankle-length red jacket trimmed with tinsel garland. The 3 women looked at each other, agape, then back at the door. Rhonda? That's it.
I needed to get the last line. Don't show up at my door in a tinsel-laden red coat.
I will pay you money.
I will pay, yes. It's going to be a blue Christmas if you don't do that for me.
Okay. All right.
I just feel sentimental because we're in Rhonda's story.
I
Yeah.
It's about
Happy.
me. Oh.
And I'm singing Jingle Bells to soothe myself.
Yes, hilarious.
Over my anxiety that you might forget the reindeer snacks.
Well, you've got one on your shirt, so you'll have one at least.
That's true.
Okay,
really
Jamie,
Oh
you
my
want to
gosh,
go
hold
next?
on. So fun, Rhonda. That was awesome. Oh gosh, that was great. Oh
It
my
was
gosh.
really good. I love the
So
pile
fun.
of winter coats that I fell on. That was a very good detail. And the frozen flakes of snow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Because
I
you know
mean-
it's got to be super cold out for the snow to glitter in the air.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you just had to make Jamie cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just call me Susie Snowflake. Oh boy.
Okay,
All right.
Jamie, do you want to go next?
Sure, I'll go next. I just sort of waved hello at the prompt on the way past, I guess, because it has nothing to do with the prompt. Oh, wait, I closed my window. Someone stall real quick.
Okay, well, looks like our chatters are making up a little group here, and they're going to be sprinting and doing office hours.
Oh, that's
Yay.
awesome. That's
Awesome.
exactly the kind of thing that we hope to encourage. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Oh, dear. Sorry. I'm in the wrong drive now.
I can go while you look. You want me to do that?
Why don't you go? That's a good idea.
Okay, so again, I'm still writing in the same world of my November Nano project just because I'm not done with the project and it helps. So, a holiday surprise. What is it? Open it and find out. Marjorie eyed him suspiciously. It isn't Christmas yet. Don't you think we should wait until Christmas? Ryan's eyebrows shot up. Are you saying you got me a Christmas present? Yeah. Why? Does that surprise you? Immensely. She cocked a brow at him. But you got me something. Ryan nodded. Yes, every woman I've ever dated expects me to buy them things, but nobody ever gives me anything. Marjorie blinked her eyes rapidly, hoping he wouldn't notice the moisture that had gathered there. You date the wrong type of women. You're right, he said. There was something strange in his voice as he said those last words, but Marjorie didn't have time to dwell there because Ryan was once again shoving the slim rectangular package toward her. Open it. She took it from him hesitantly. If this is a ruse to give you your present early, it isn't going to work. You don't get yours until Christmas morning, Christmas Eve at the earliest. A pained look crossed his face. There was no missing it. Ryan, why do you have to make everything an argument with me? Can't you just do what I asked just once? She didn't like how this felt, but a warm smile had returned to his handsome face, replacing the fleeting look that Marjorie had definitely noticed. She began peeling back the paper. Whoever you paid to wrap this did a beautiful job. I almost hate to ruin it. I wrapped it. She stopped, shocked at the revelation. You? You wrapped this? Ryan sighed. At this rate, it'll be Christmas Eve before you get it open. Just tear into it already. This time, Marjorie did as she was told. The white box glistened beneath the paper, an image of its contents blazoned on the top. A laptop, she said, almost reverently. It wasn't just a laptop. It was a top-of-the-line piece of craftsmanship. Ryan, you shouldn't have. I figured you needed one for when you head back to Boston. Like a knife twisting in the pit of her stomach, sharp pain mixed with the warmth that was his thoughtfulness gushed within her. It was a beautiful gift and a horrible reminder that this was only temporary, all packaged together neatly in a shiny little white box.
Aw.
That was so good. Unfortunately, you were upstaged by a dog.
Yeah, I kept hearing like giggling and I'm like, did I do something wrong? Like, I didn't know what, like,
Sorry.
All we could see was Rhonda's dog's tail, and everyone was like, "Is that a feather duster?"
Yep.
Jen, I did not see Teddy, fortunately, because Teddy does squirrel me. And I gotta say, I really, really enjoy what you're writing here. I mean, and this is what's so fun about this podcast. Like, you might not be someone who would ever pick up a billionaire romance, but
Mhm.
you're getting exposed to one to see if it might be something that you could branch out and find something fun to read that's a little bit different. So
Right.
I really am excited about this book, and it is not something I ever would have picked up. So I'm really glad that you're sharing on the podcast.
thanks.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this tension between these two about like they both love each other, but it's an arranged marriage, and Like every time he mentions her going back to Boston, she gets like weird. And so I'm really enjoying the tent. You're really doing a great job building that.
Thanks. Like this is right before the final disaster. So like it's getting really, tight in there. So thanks. Shell says really great, Jen. Now I want to know what she got for him.
Yeah.
I do too. I can't wait to find out what she got for him. Gigi says Ryan and Marjorie love this couple. I just like to state real quick, Gigi, you are the sweetest. Gigi messaged me a picture of a gift that she was giving, like a whole little gift basket with my book in it for someone. And that was very, very sweet. I really, really
she did the same for me. So that was exciting.
What a wonderful way to support an author. And it doesn't cost much more than a greeting card to send somebody a book by an independent author. And that's a really, really thoughtful way to show your support and possibly breed a new super fan for your favorite author. So way to go, Gigi. And I encourage anybody, if you can give a print copy of an independent author's book, even if it's the one you read, if you could just pass it along to a friend and say, this is a really good book. That's so appreciated by authors.
Yes, definitely. Okay, I'm going to go next. So I'm just going to go.
Okay.
Agnes picked at her dry turkey breast, moving it around on her plate, piling the tasteless mashed potatoes over the pieces to make it seem as if she'd eaten it. That nurse, Sally, was always scolding her for not eating enough. The small glass of milk they gave her was lukewarm. She liked her milk tall and cold, so she left it where it was. Instead of Jell-O today, there was cranberry sauce. Not the homemade kind with the bits of orange zest she always made, but the jiggly jelly kind that came from a can. Were they trying to trick her into thinking it was Jell-O? Agnes sighed. Pumpkin pie, her least favorite kind. They could at least give them a choice. Pecan would be good, but what she really craved was a warm slice of raspberry with vanilla ice cream on top. Sally would tell her she was wasting away to nothing, and Agnes would say, well, if you'd serve anything that resembled decent food in this place, I wouldn't be starving then, would I? Finally, Agnes pushed the tray cart away and turned on the TV. Maybe she could find a nice Christmas special to watch. Die Hard? How in the world did that become a Christmas movie? The Hallmark Channel? Not even if they paid her. Finally, White Christmas. She'd seen it 1,000,000 times. Used to watch it with her daughter every year. She closed her eyes, still able to see each scene in her memory as she sang softly along with Bing and the sisters. There was a knock on the door. When she opened her eyes, there stood her daughter and 5 grandchildren. Surprise! They all yelled. What are you doing here? Exclaimed Agnes. We came to break you out of this joint, said the oldest grandchild, a sly grin on his face. The nursing home director appeared in the doorway and beamed at Agnes. I just signed the papers. Merry Christmas, Agnes. Enjoy the next week with your family.
Aww, that's wonderful.
I love that as within the first few sentences, I knew she was in a facility of some sort without you saying Agnes was in a facility. Like just really great description, really like set the stage and let me know what was going on. And then I'm hyper focused and I'm like already know her and loving her and feeling bad for her. So really, really good job.
Agree.
Jason says, great, Tina. Piper says, I used to work in nursing homes, so this is touching. Let's see.
Hopefully it's not prophetic.
Piper says, Jennifer and Tina, I gifted your ebooks for my sister-in-law. Thank you.
That's so sweet.
Really appreciate that. Whoops, wrong one. Sorry. Maria says, I traded one of my author copies of my recent book for some homemade ice cream this week. A friend just started an ice cream shop business. It was an amazing deal. Yes, I would say that would be definitely.
Yay, that is a win. If someone will give me ice cream for things I write, boy, would I be prolific.
Super sweet, Tina. And I agree about Die Hard. Yeah. Agnes doesn't know what she's missing with the Hallmark movies. Loneliness.
Aww.
Lots of great comments.
Thanks, guys. Okay, who's next?
It's me. I'm sorry.
Jamie.
Yeah, I found it.
You got yours? Okay.
Yes, it's all right. So like I said, I did not follow the prompt, which now I regret because I love how Tina's turned out. So anyway. In spite of the fact that Millicent's favorite pair of jeans were in the laundry, she knew it was going to be a remarkable day. It was, after all, the day she was going to become a big sister. Her particularly favorite Levi's, that's not even true, but anyway, her particularly favorite Levi's being made unavailable to her, she wondered what she was going to wear. I don't know the baby's favorite color, she considered, so I will wear mine. Her blue velvet dress with the puffy sleeves trimmed with lace would fit the bill, she decided, and selected a pair of Mary Jane's and white frilly socks to complete the outfit. Daddy, will you put this in my hair, please? She said, extending a brush and an enormous navy blue bow in the direction of her father, who was working hard to wrangle Millie's little brother JJ into a pair of Toughskins. Yes, sweetheart, but you'll have to give me a minute. Ow! JJ had managed to pull the fly up on his own and in a moment of exuberant celebration had thrown his head back and connected squarely with Millie's father's nose. Millie wasn't sure she wanted to hear what her father would say next, so she scampered from the room, worried that she wouldn't be able to catch Daddy's attention again before it was time to head over to the hospital to see Mom and the new baby. A new baby? A sister? Sister. She hadn't allowed herself to say the word aloud yet. It still seemed somehow like a phrase that did not belong to her, like it was someone else's dress she was trying to put on. Lots of grown-ups had tried to make her try that outfit on already, asking her, how do you feel, and things like that whenever they talked to Mom about the baby in front of her. She wondered, what was she supposed to feel? What would it mean to have a sister? She could not know. Only that it would be different than having JJ, which was all right enough, and hopefully just as good as having him around was, for the most part. Need a hand? Her father's face appeared over her head in the mirror, and she grinned with relief. She watched as Daddy carefully picked through the tangles and knew she would have to tell her sister he was the preferred parent for that job. Mom was the type to brush right through those tangles and encourage you to be tough about it. And that's it. That's all I have.
Wow.
I got to tell you, the zipper thing did not turn out the way I thought it was going to.
Me either. I was like, when he like did himself with his exuberance. I was like, oh no.
I love the part about it being like a dress that what you said,
Yeah.
dress that didn't fit right.
Yeah,
Someone
someone
else's
else's
dress.
dress. Yeah.
Yeah, that was such a good description of something being unfamiliar and a little bit uncomfortable.
Thank you. Thank you. It's how I felt about having a husband for a while and being a wife. Like
Right.
calling yourself a wife is a weird thing. Like, well, you know, I'm his wife felt weird didn't it feel to you guys the first time to say it?
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I was older. I was in my 30s when I got married, so that's probably why, because I had been just me for so long. So yeah, it's a really good way of putting it. Yeah.
All right.
Loved it.
Thanks.
And Piper says that her brother used to wear Toughskins. I don't even know what Toughskins are, but
The
Yeah,
jeans,
what are they?
they're little jeans.
They would sell them at Kmart for sure. I don't know who else made them, but they were supposedly like you're not going to wear them out. You know what I mean? They were very, very
were
rugged pants. They were tough. Yeah. Mhm.
Juju says, Jamie, that was awesome. You pulled me in. Millie not knowing the baby's favorite color. So sweet. Yeah, I love that part. I wrote that part down too.
Thanks.
There was so much in there that it would be
Mhm.
hard to like pick it all out, but it was really good. And it could have been a Christmas burst, so it could still be a Christmas surprise.
I know. Yeah. I literally had no idea what I was going to do. So I just I don't know. So.
Okay.
Yay.
Well, now it's time to transition into this part where we talk about what's next.
Oh, yes.
And we kind of have been talking about what's next all along. So what did we decide that we were going to do instead? There was something. I can't find it on the outline. We're going to discuss what we'll be doing during our 2 weeks off.
Oh, yeah. Since we're not going to be working. Is Jennifer frozen?
Or is she asleep?
I hope not. Oh,
Am I back?
Yeah.
You were either frozen or meditating. We weren't sure.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know. I'm hooked right to the internet, so who knows?
Well, you're back. So, Tina, can you repeat that question or what
are we going to do during our 2 weeks off? We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, so like, are you guys gonna write? I mean, are we doing office? Like, so what's the deal? What is everyone wants to know? Inquiring minds.
I don't know yet, but for Christmas, our Christmas is weird this year. A lot of our traditions are out the window. My daughter and son-in-law are coming over the day before Christmas Eve and hanging out all day and I'm gonna go get my granddaughter and have her here too. And then my sons are coming the day after Christmas with my granddaughter again. So it's just going to be me and my husband and my 17-year-old on Christmas Day. So that's going to just be weird. And I don't know. We usually like to go to Frankenmuth and stuff during the holidays, and just because of the lockdown and everything, we're just not. And so it's just strange time. We'll probably just hang out and watch TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be working. I think, Rhonda, didn't you say you were going to keep office hours?
Yep.
But we were just going to miss the podcast. So it would be office hours for us will be showing up. So when Tina feels like she can, she'll make it. Jen also. But they both do a big sort of holiday thing. So we didn't want to have anybody be committed. So
Right. I will not be doing office hours. I am taking 2 weeks off. My stepson is coming home tomorrow. He'll be home for 2 weeks, and I do most of the cooking for the Christmas meal, which it's pretty small now. It's just us and then my parents who just live close to us. So we're not doing any traveling or anything like that. But I'm going to be doing a lot of cooking and a lot of baking and just really kind of like spending time with my kids for sure. Piper says that she's going to complete a rough draft. She has just a few thousand words left.
Yay!
Shell says she'll be baking and eating all the Christmas cookies.
Oh my
watching
goodness.
and reviewing the cheesy Christmas movies.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
What about you, Rhonda? What do you guys? I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to clear this out. So Jason says, I want to get into a better habit of writing at least a little each day. Maria says going to North Wales for Christmas Day, but staying here otherwise. Wales in particular has quite tight lockdown restrictions. Going to chill and read. Going to take a break from writing. All right. Go ahead, Rhonda.
Well, like Jamie said, I'm definitely keeping my office hours because it only takes me like one day to get out of habits. So I've already got a good thing started. I don't want to mess it up I'm not going to be missing out on anything by keeping my office hours. So that's what I'll be doing. And in particular, I'm going to try to draft out my business plan. Earlier, Tina talked about getting that book on business plan. Well, we'll be talking about that in January. And so I'm hoping to have mine done before January 1st.
Okay.
That's my goal.
Anyone else have anything they want to talk about? Okay, so I guess that's it. So that concludes this episode of the Christian Indie Writers Podcast. And until January 8th, may your pen be prolific, your deadlines be met, and may all of your words honor Christ. See you later.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.